Everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more Battle Brothers. Now, last time we arrived at Brunenthal where the prices on tools are shocking. Come on, game. Shockingly high. I mean, look at that. That is outrageous. Right? So we're not going to buy or sell anything here. We're not going to hire these two people. Instead, we're going to carry on up the road. And speaking of roads, there are two paths which clearly lie ahead of us at this current point in time. The first is to save up to hire men of good character, and we will struggle, we will have a very hard time, but eventually we will get good company members who will last and stand us in good stead. Again, we're going to move on from here. I see marauding greenskins could be tricky for the current company's situation. And I made a mistake there. I've been playing with Legends mod a bit recently, and it pauses whenever I leave a town. I don't like that, but I'm just so used to it at this point. Whoa, hello. You know what? Yes, we need the money. So as I was saying, two paths ahead of us, right? The first path is the one of quality, let's call it. The path of... oh my god. Okay. Yeah, the path of oh my god. Right. Yeah. It's the road of well, poverty essentially. Delay. I want you here. Yep, good. And you can shoot at him. You can move to here. And you to there. So the downfalls of that road are that, you know, people could die, our company could get even worse, we might end up getting nowhere. And eventually when we do start getting some decent folk, then great, you know, but it might be too little too late. The other path is one of getting better equipment for our company members to help them survive long enough for us to be able to... wait, no. There we go. That's better. For us to be able to eventually start hiring better people. Now, the downside of that particular path is that our existing brothers get better levels, they get better equipment, and it becomes harder to replace them because they raise in value. So, yeah. Oh, I tried. Alright. Can I get you twice? Yeah, awesome. Big swing. Better than nothing. So, you know, we can go with getting better people, which will take a long time because we'll have to save up for them, and the company could die out in the meantime. Or we could go with getting better equipment to keep our guys alive. Problem is then our badly crippled guys get to become long-term fixers of the company, and so it's a bit of a catch-22 situation really. Oh my god. It seems the decision may be being taken out of my hands. Pity's sake. This could end up being a very short episode. I mean, I hope it won't be, but... ah, that was not good. Okay. Just going for the overwhelming bonuses there. And I just want us to keep the standard, even if we lose the standard bearer. Okay, stuns are a big risk here. There we go. We're getting terrible dice rolls. Yeah, this is going to turn very ugly very soon. Alright, big swing it is. Better than nothing. I think it may be time to start a new... Oh god, we're dead. Okay. Well, this is a disgustingly short episode. Have to start a new campaign. Yeah, it had to happen eventually. Oh well. That's a real shame. Was this the only way? Surely you could have done something differently. You'll spend your final moments desperately trying to relive a past in which you are not where you are, seeking a solemn remedy to the cruel finality that you are about to experience. The Good Companions has met its match. It isn't the first time, but in the past you respected the facts of the situation. Now you did not, and all the men beneath your command have paid for the mistake with their lives. So, that was unfortunate. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start another company. What do I want to call them? Now, I'm very tempted at this point to start a company with the Legends mod. I mean, we had basically hit a death spiral there, and it is unfortunate. What day were we on? We were on like day 47 apparently. Yeah, there's a couple of Legends saves there. I want to do a Legends campaign with the Seer, because she's a lot of fun to play with. And actually this is a good stopping point, because the Legends mod has been updated, and you know what? I'm just gonna... If I activate the Legends mod and play with it, even with one of the existing Origins, some Legends mod things will still be active. And yeah, you know what? I'll just go turn it on now. Back in a bit. And we are back with the Legends mod now activated. Now, you won't see a lot different at the moment. Essentially, the sword and hammer here have changed. The shield, I don't think so much. But there's lots of changes. So, yeah, let's go with it, actually. You know what? Yeah. So, we have all of the existing ones, right down to Lone Wolf. Then we have Legends options, which I'll go through and talk through. We have the... Where are you? The Adventuring Party. This gives you a party of like 6 ridiculously powered heroes who are incredibly powerful, but you can't really hire anyone else. And eventually your leader gets a few perks that lets you expand the company size, but this is like a tutorial. This is a get to know the heroes mode, where you get to play about for different heroes, find out which ones you like, find out which ones you don't, and so on. Right, and the heroes are essentially not dissimilar to the Lone Wolf. They are a little bit more powerful, but also a bit less durable, and their company conditions are all different. So, yeah, let's just go through those. The solo beggar, you play a beggar, right? You've witnessed something nasty in an alleyway, and one of the noble houses wants you dead. You're running around the map, literally a beggar with bad skills, bad stats, can't hire anyone apart from, you know, low-born careers. Not entirely dissimilar in that regard to the peasant militia. However, as a beggar, your company size is 1 person, right? You literally can't hire anyone else until you've leveled up to level 2 and taken a perk to increase your company size to by an extra of 1 or 2 people, right? There's also the guys behind the mod are also experimenting with something with the beggar at the moment. which isn't quite working as planned yet, so I won't go for Beggar. Okay, but Beggar is like a really hardcore challenge, super challenge mode, right? God, all noble houses hate you. If the Beggar dies, the campaign ends. It's like, yeah. The solo berserker is a barbarian berserker. He's different to the barbarians from the Northern Raiders origin. That being said, this mod does modify the barbarians from the Northern Raiders origin so that they have a slightly different perk tree. So the berserker is, you know, a very dangerous, violent hero. So you can find a wait. He gives the berserk perk to everyone who joins his company. Yeah, a lot of the Legends heroes give a perk for free to people of their company. And I would say that the Legends balance isn't quite there yet, but it can still be a lot of fun to play. The Warlock is a Necromancer. You literally play a Necromancer. They've actually changed it, I see. Start of Undead Companions and a Scythe that summons the dead. Originally, the Warlock could raise the dead, but they wouldn't stay with the company after the end of the battle. Now it seems that his undead minions can remain in the party. Lots of necromantic, horrible magic there. The noble is a nobleman. Start as a noble with your retainers, a noble house that wants to hunt you down. So, one of the noble houses doesn't like you, so clearly this is a matter of succession. Noble and military recruits cost less, but everyone else costs more. And the noble and military recruits are the most expensive. So basically, you ain't hiring anyone for a while. The noble is like a tactician. He's a sort of battlefield... Not really quite a battlefield control character so much as a... he'll have orders to like make men go faster or do extra things. I'm not sure exactly, right? It might be a bit like that spell the necromancers use on their undead minions to give them extra action points. The ranger is not dissimilar to the poacher's origin, except the poacher's origin, you're like playing a band of merry men on the run from the Sheriff of Nottingham or whoever wants to hunt you down. Not everyone is cut up for rangers. Some love nature and are eager to join. Others will need more coin to convince. All recruits gain Pathfinder. So Ranger gives everyone Pathfinder. Some people are a lot of people who aren't naturally inclined are going to cost more. So you get like Wild Hill Men, Woodsmen, lumberjacks, maybe Fletchers and Boyers if you're lucky, poachers, stuff like that. Scouts, you move faster and can always get a scouting report from enemies near you. Isn't that the same as poachers? Scout. Yeah, it's exactly the same. Travel light, less items to carry, whereas... Oh yeah, just main character. The Sisterhood. It's women. You can only hire women. There'll be more women on the map. Oh yeah, there's female hirelings available in this mod. You play as the witch who can create magic rune stones to enchant pieces of equipment. Main character did, trading caravan. There has been an issue with this. It's different to the trading caravan origin. There was a bug with the Legends trading caravan. Essentially, again, you start with a smaller company and a donkey. The donkeys are hireable as mercenaries, and they improve your carrying capacity and stuff like that. There was a bug where you were supposed to start with a company size of 4, and instead you just started with one guy and a donkey, and no caravan hands, and a company size of 2. Yeah. Bribery, paying off human enemies instead of fighting them. That is something the trading caravan normal one does not have. But And again, it's a small company size, but you have to increase through leveling. The Solo Crusader is not dissimilar to the Lone Wolf. However, the Crusader is ridiculously tanky, having lots of... I mean, like, he can literally get a perk at level 2 that makes him immune to being stunned, right? And he has a lot of perks he can take that make him very good at fighting the undead. Everyone who joins his company gains Fortified Mind. The issue I have with the controller is that his starting weapon, the Crusader, his starting weapon is overpowered. It's far too powerful. It's basically a two-handed sword that also has the one-handed sword attack built in. So he can do 2 quick attacks or 1 slow attack that'll do more damage, right? And that versatility just makes it a ridiculously powerful weapon. I mean, it might have some other things that make it a bit too powerful as well. So I like the theme and feel of the Crusader, and I like the more tanky feel of his perks. More tanky than the Lone Wolf gets. But the Crusader is like starting at level 1 or 2, whereas the Lone Wolf is starting at like level 5, you know. The Seer is the Wise Woman. She's not like the Witch that you get with the Sisterhood, right? To be fair, the Witch you get with the Sisterhood can appear as a random event anyway. The Seer is basically a magic user, right? She has spells that control the battlefield, you know, stun enemies, slow them down, things like that. All of these things are things that can be inflicted by normal weapons in the game, but the way she employs them as spells in a controlling role is much more interesting. She is very vulnerable and fragile and runs around the map for ages, doing exploration quests until she can eventually afford to hire a few decent people to protect her. And, oh yeah, everyone in her company gets the student perk. I like playing as Seer. She's my favourite Legends character. But for now, I've been wanting to play a proper barbarian company for a while now. So I'm going to play a company here. They might die. If they do, hey, it happens. So the differences here are going to come in with the extra stuff. Wait, why is that going off the bottom? That looks bad. Right. What do we want to call them? Oh, look at that now, look at that. I had a really good barbarian company. That was like the Valskringa Ormskur or something. Yeah, we'll just go with that, yeah. Ormskur. Valskringa Ormskur. We're going to set it to random. I'm tempted to go permanent destruction, but no. I mean, look, what I could do for shits and giggles, right, is get them the Black Raven, right? Black Raven, pick Undead Scourge, end game result, and call them the Shite Watch. Actually, the Shite Watch should be Peasant Militia, shouldn't it? I'd call them something else. They've come through the wall, they're heading south, but yeah, that's just daft. Let's be original, right? So, Falskringa Ormskur. Yeah. Now, normally, I like to play on veteran combat difficulty. However, Legends mod does a lot with combat difficulty that you basically have to play Legends mod on beginner until you're really familiar with it. I don't feel comfortable playing veteran combat difficulty on Legends because of some of the things Legends does. Early on, it shouldn't be a massive issue, but around day 30 or 40, it would be a major problem. Starting funds high will still be about half the amount of money you'd normally start with on a normal game. However, we then come to this lovely screen. I like having my settlements in multiples of 6, because 6 is a good number. I could go for a fourth faction, but I won't. So we have lots of sliders. We can control the size of the map. Landmass ratio is like how much of it's land, how much of it's water. How many ports are there? How much of the land is covered in snow? You know, things like that, right? Settlements start hidden. I love this. This is what it used to be like back in early access, and for some reason at some point in late early access before the game released, they decided to make the game start with all settlements visible so you could see them all, and it just kind of took the fun out of the map exploring for me a bit. That being said, with the barbarian horde, with the Northern Raiders origin running away from the established people, not being able to tell where we can safely go is going to be really challenging. Gucci Citadels. Give Citadels all those building attachments map scummers are re-rolling for. So what? Weaponsmith, armourer, training hall, maybe a temple as well. I don't know. I don't like Citadels being like a nice big handbag, so no. All trade buildings available. You know what? Just in case, yes. Debug map. Debug map makes the entire map visible right over me off, and we don't want to do that. So, let's get stuck in, shall we? Also remember, I'm playing with a mod. If the game crashes or anything, or something goes really weird, it ain't my problem. Well, it is, but it's not my fault, you know. It's like, well, of course it's my fault. I installed a mod. It's more a case of, it's not the developer's fault, so don't blame them, you know. Right. Oh, here we go. So I've experimented a bit with this origin and enjoyed it in the past, but now I'm going to enjoy it with you guys. Just hark at that music. It's great. After you and your party killed half of them, the villagers finally submitted. A white flag was raised and they offered parley, which you were happy to grant. In a single line they walked out to the town square where they were holding a festival. Where they had been holding a festival. Jewels and treasures filled their arms and they dumped the goods where you stood, boot atop the smashed skull of their mare. Your vanguard of Jormal, Hafgufer, Braum and Skarbrand kept careful watch of the ceremony like buzzards watching a slow death. The last in line was a monk. He had no gold or silver on him, but instead spoke to you, his words immediately drawing the weapons of your fellow raiders. You allowed him to speak, and he spoke at length about the old gods and how the treasures of the heavens superseded all that which earth could offer. You told him his death was written by that wagging chin of his. The monk pursed his lips. All right, then if you want gold, depart these silly games. This raiding and pillaging, it is all worthless compared to the treasures of the south. The nobles won't have you in their armies, but they are forever in need of mercenaries and rarely have the time or luxury of choosing where these hired fighters come from. You'd make all the crowns you'd ever want. Come south, raiders, and be sublimated into sellswords. Braum demands the monk's head, but you stay the execution. Instead, you take the crafty monk at his word. You've long heard of southern riches and the travels of adventurous swords for hire. You decide to venture south so long as the monk comes with you. Braum protests, but you won't have it. If this pale little shit of a monk is your lucky charm to a new life, then it would be an affront to the old gods to leave him be. The raider storms off, but Jormal, Hafgufer and Skarbrand, who will probably all be getting renamed soon, have no qualms about following you. The rest of the war party returns north, a split in the loot being made. What remains of the village is left behind to recover, rebuild, and make new goods for stronger tribes to come and take for themselves. In the meantime, we head south! So here's a nice new thing, right? Start of Legends, game starts paused. So we'll unpause and take a look at our company. Gerlach the Meek. Oh my god, fragile and faint-hearted. I'm just going to restart right there. That's really bad. There's a reason for it. Now the monk in the barbarian's campaign start is... Now fortunately it saves all the information, so I can just restart again. Essentially he isn't very important as a company standard bearer. And having him be faint-hearted when he's all about the morale is a pretty bad thing. Come on. There we go. Eagle Eyes and Spartan. Alright, so we got some cutlery, a silver bowl, smoked ham, goat's cheese, all revolting things. And we'll give him this Traveller's Sash. Now this is an accessory that can be worn by any member of the company, and it gives us free extra stash spaces to carry things in, because Legends mod is all about the micromanagement. Up here we have Brocker. Brock is the badger. So he's got a dog. We'll have to get that killed off quickly, that's annoying. An axe hammer. They should have called it a hammer axe, because that's what it is. It's a hammer and it's an axe, and it's got spiky bits on. He's got reinforced animal hide armor with some metal bits on it, and a bear headpiece. Yeah, he's hardcore. Athletic. Okay, so we got melee skill. Also, these guys start with a few levels, obviously. This perk is new. It's from a Legends mod. Devastating Strikes. All damage inflicted is increased by 20% for any weapon used. What could stand before you? Also, Second Wind. When dropping below 30 health, regain half of your fatigue. So again, Legends mod, lots of tweaky bits. Last Stand. Gain plus 1% additional melee and range defense for every 1% of hit points missing. Oh yes! Combine that with Battle Forged. And Battle Flow. Once per turn, killing an opponent reduces current fatigue by 25% of the base maximum fatigue before penalties due to armor are applied. So how does that... Killing Frenzy. So there's some good combinations here, right? We have Hurik. You guys will be getting renamed soon. And Jotnar. He's no giant. Oh god, I need to get these guys to a barber quick. They don't look anything like self-respecting barbarians. They look like a bunch of skinheads. Right. We should call you Bralvor. You'll probably be getting a nickname as well. Right. Oh god, these are all good. Right. The health would be good, but range defense, you don't often get a +3 on it. And we will give him Colossus, obviously, because he's a big burly barbarian bugger from the north. Oh, hey, look! Resilient is really good. Devastating Strikes is really good. I think I want both of those, to be honest. What's this? Debilitate. Unlocks the Debilitate skill, which can prime your next attack to cripple a target for 1 turn, reducing their ability to inflict damage by 50%. So there's lots of nasty, dirty tricks here, and a lot of various background skin. Also, you see, no reserves. I can toggle people to be in reserves, and now he's got the 10, which means he's in reserve and won't fight. So reserve management is more of a... Okay, look. We want this. We want this and that. Okay. So that's him sorted. Hurik. Cleaver man. He's got tough. Well, we're getting him that. And this, because that's just a ridiculously powerful smashy smash skill. Right. His defense stats are not as good. This is more of a two-handed build. So we'll have to see... Oh my god. Look, we just need a point there, okay? It's just bad. And we shall call you... Call you Magnus, actually. Yeah. Maybe even have a Sven in here. Right. So, dexterous. And brave. Interesting. Well, you are Mr. Super Tanky, so you should be getting stuck in the middle. We want to raise that attack skill a bit more. I should look into getting dodge for some of these blokes. You know what? Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, so this man we want to keep alive. We also want to keep these three alive. Pop you in the middle. Now, as we're playing a barbarian company, the people of Vishtat hate us. What end of the map are we on? We're up on the northern edge. And normally the two northernmost houses, noble houses, will hate us. I am clicking over here, you idiots! They're clearly still drunk on their success. So, we need to hurry away from towns and head south, because the local militia of these towns will hunt us down. They have bows and are nasty, and they can have high initiative on bows, which means they start shooting us before we can run away, and it hurts a hell of a lot. So, no, we'll go this way, because the swamp will be slow. We don't want to go through scenery that will slow us down if we're running away from enemies. Our whole goal is to get out of the north and find somewhere in the south where people haven't heard of our recent exploits, and to stay there long enough that those up north will either forget about us. You know what, now we are just cutting across the mountains because we're not being pursued. It would be nice to find a settlement where we can seek employ, or like buy some equipment for our priest. No, this way. This way. Come on. So far we haven't seen a lot of... That's a bad sound. That is a bad sound. If they are headed after us, we have a problem. As the company takes a break, you decide to address the men. Brothers, I want everyone to know that Falskringer Ormskur are not just cutthroats and errand boys, but skilled fighters of the First Order. Word of our deeds must spread so that merchants and noblemen are begging us to take their contracts. Enhanced camping skills. Camping skills are a new thing in the Legends mod. I would normally take this one, or allies. Get the company bigger. We're gonna go with allies because we're on the run and we haven't yet found enough settlements to get all the camping skills. The Golden Order do not seem to be pursuing us. Let's head to the forest over here because it doesn't have mountains in it. And eventually we will find a town we can enter that will not be hostile to us. However, in the meantime, what's this? This is lots of ancient auxiliaries. Not for us, thank you very much. There's a few too many there. So while we initially started with a goodly amount of food, we're going to need it for the long journey southwards, where we will obviously revel in debauchery and be the most, bad neighbours, bad immigrants, and have a jolly fun time until eventually someone pays us to risk life and limb for silver coin, which we value so highly. At this point of the game, we are not looking for fights. We are looking to avoid fights. We are not well prepared for battle. Our three frontliners, they're good solid men, right? They are rough and tough. Okay, this road is going to lead to a settlement of one kind or another. Bralvor asks you to enter Fenrir the Warhound into a local dogfighting circle. That sounds like an awful idea, but the man goes on to explain that a lot of money stands to be made in dogfighting. Also, the northern dogs are ridiculously hardcore. All the dog handler needs is, 200 coins for the steak. Alright, but I'm going with you. You take a purse of crowns and follow Bralvor through a wind of darker and darker streets. Soon enough, there isn't much to see. Wet cobblestones lit white by strobes of moonlight, lazily guide you into what depths the city hides from those who prefer the day. Bugger me, that was a long sentence for someone with asthma. Suddenly a torch flares up and a man's face, afloat and disembodied in the dark, speaks out to you. Fat dog here for the fights? Bralvor nods. The stranger tilts the torch forwards. Alright then. Right this way, gentlemen. Watch your step, all manner of piss goes downhill. Let's fucking do this, man. We're barbarians. Following the man's torch through the dark, you come to a building with a sliding portal at its door. The stranger gives the door a pattern of knocks, and it pops open as if commanded by the final rap. You are ushered in, leering faces watching from the side as you enter. Immediately you hear the unsettling din of snarling and barking. This is what you're here for, right? Stairs lead you to the pits, where a crowd hurdles around a makeshift arena of dirt and wobbly fence posts. The action can't be seen yet, but off to the side are a pile of dead dogs, and beside them sit their killers, eyes wild, blood-frothing mouths agape in horrified panting. As two dogs clash in the arena, you glance at Bralvor. Time to see what our dog can do. After paying the... Why do they keep calling it an ante? Is this an Americanism? I know Wizards of the Coast did it with, like, Magic the Gathering 4th edition back in 1998. But it's not a commonly used word in gambling in this country. It's just weird. It's not English. It's like American English or something. Or, like, maybe it's more of a European thing, like an Italian thing. I don't know. Anyway, after placing the stake, Bralvor and yourself take Fenrir the Warhound outside the arena. He has a good name to live up to. Its eyes dart around, and as its shoulders rest against your trouser leg, you can feel a quickening heartbeat. I was like, what of me is panting? Across from you stands your competition, a scummy-looking dog handler and a massive beast, more wolf than dog. Have you seen our giant Irish wolfhound thing? It's massive. It's missing its bottom lip, displaying a jagged row of teeth that have been chiseled to be even deadlier than they already are. Scabs and sores mottle its crooked body, but the musculature of its frame is apparent, and Bralvor whispers that this'll be ugly. Fenrir the Warhound yelps and jabs forwards, the mongrel bred of war in him, and with a... Should we breed? It's just... Oh, the mongrel bred with war in him. And with an outstretched hand you unleash your hound, just as your opponent does his. Mess him up! The two dogs sprint toward one another and cover the small arena in a flash. They collide, their true bodies wheeling away from one another before their feet plant and charge in for another shot. The opponent's dog ducks beneath Fenrir the Warhound, then rises back. That's not even a word. Munching onto the underside of the dog's neck. Bralvor's hands go to his face, his eyes staring out between his fingers. You watch as Fenrir the Warhound is shaken from side to side. Blood spurts from his nose and he yelps. You can hear the scratch of scissoring helpless legs as the dog tries to kick across the dirt. The audience jeers and laughs. It's a dogfight. Right, I just want to say for right now, I do not condone or support dogfighting anyway. And if you like dogs and like this part of the video upsets you, sorry, man, it is what it is. Sometimes horrible things happen. But this is, there's money riding on this. We're not going to step in now. You don't intervene and even have to hold back Bralvor as the man tries to jump the fence. The two of you can only watch in horror as the fierce mongrel snapping bites tear away at Fenrir the Warhound's face piece by piece. Soon your dog sinks to the ground, giving up its neck. Blood tearing follows suit, and Fenrir the Warhound is very quickly a dead dog. Distraught Bralvor can only sink to the ground and cover his face. Fenrir the Warhound dies. Well, bugger. We don't want to stay here. Hey, this place will hire us! Awesome! Dreigrafen! You killed our dog, you bastards, now give us a job. Frieda the Craven, Sophia the Devoted, Friedrich the Serbated, which means badly beaten up. Yeah, we got a monk. We could get a nun as well, if we had the money. Hey, look! We can get the money. Prices here aren't too shabby, so sure. Get a shield, get that mace. Holy Sister to keep the monk company. Pretty looking thing, isn't she? I think she uses one of the witch faces. Got any hair under that wimple? No! She's a serious skinhead. Alcoholic? Survivor? Oh my god! Okay, so that haircut was either a severe religious devotion or a drunken mistake that she's now regretting, or maybe it's a punishment for something she did. You know, perhaps she, suffered a lot of dalliances with young men that caused them to get into debt, and she got into trouble over it, and eventually got, passed off into a monastery to, who paid for her debts, essentially, and cut off her hair as a punishment so men wouldn't be as attracted to her. She's got a lot of resolve, so we can at least do something about that. Hey, I did say I wanted some shields. I don't like... Yeah, that one will do. Right. You get a shield, pal. Right. Let's do some work. Magnus the Treasurer settles down into his chair, laughing to himself as he does so. Oh, don't be alarmed, sellsword, but they say ghosts are afoot. Yes, yes, the local peasants are poisoning my mornings with constant talks of ghosts and goblins. They say that these supposed creatures are turning the cemetery upside down, raiding the graves to enlarge their army or some such nonsense. Obviously it's the work of some spade-wielding men intent on robbing graves for jewellery. I've seen it all before. He looks down at his hands, briefly chuckling. Anyway, I can't just let it rest because these peasants won't get off my back about it. So, to ease them, there's, well, you really. I need you to go to the cemetery and clear out any troublemakers you find. How you do that is up to you, but I'll go ahead and suggest a good piece of steel, if you know what I mean. You're going to be paying us for this? He opens the palms of his hands. Well, I'm tight on crowns, so before you ask, this is all I have right now. I'll be paid 100 crowns. You'll be paid 100 crowns when the contract is done. We need more. He takes a deep breath. You'll get 100 crowns when the contract is done. Very well, but we do not like this pay. The contract is negotiated as follows. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go to the Catacomb of Restless. Right. Where is it? It's over there. Awesome. We'll go there, beat stuff up, come back, and end the episode. And, as you approach Dreigrafen, all thoughts turn to the barber. Life on the road makes it harder to keep beard and hair in check, and everyone is looking forward to a trim. As you walk, Gerald the Quiet says, You know, barber's work isn't so hard. We chop up more difficult things every day. I was asking the barber about it last time, and he showed me some tricks. I bet with a chair and some scissors I could at least keep the hair from matting together. Yes, be a monk who's a hairdresser. So now we have a camping skill that we can use when we camp. And our monk doesn't actually have any weapons. So Sophia will have to be looking after him. So basically the barbarians get to do most of the fighting. Catacomb of Restless, a long-forgotten crypt haunted by the ghosts of the past. The dead won't find sleep here. Not when we come blundering in, drunkenly roaring. The grave robbers are here, just as promised. You catch them mid-dig, your brothers jumping over tombstones with their weapons raised, shouting, Lower your weapons! You are surrounded by armed bastards! These are bandit rabble, even though rabble is plural. They are worse than bandit thugs. They are easy early game content, they're not very good in the fight, they have low grade equipment, and they eventually kind of get phased out later on, but they do stick around a little bit too long for the game balance at the moment. So we're going to put Geralt the Monk here, and let them all come to their doom. Right, Bralvor, get revenge for these bastards setting up a dog murdering scheme. You killed my dog, you scum! I mean, look at that. Down in one. So this tool here is kind of like a two-handed axe. The staff is like a primitive pike. The hammers are like crude maces. Right. We want you here. And you can go to here and go for a kill. Oh yes. Right. Stay by the Holy Sister. We'll get you gear after this fight. In fact, it'll probably be picked from the dead hands of one of these buggers. Bralvor, kill him good. Try to move. You moved. Awesome. Okay, Sophia. Now, currently in the mod, the Battle Sisters, including the nuns and stuff, they're all still described as men during the events, because going through and modifying all the events would take a lot of work, so much that even the developers of the game didn't want to do it. And you close with him now, and make him shit his pants and run away. Speaking of... Ooh. Yeah, you take out that little shit. Right. You're going to go to here to reduce his morale. You're going to try and kill him. Take his head off. Oh yeah, the head just flops out from behind the tree. Hammer axe to the face. And again. Sister, close if you would. We need to totally surround him and then watch him try and run. There we go. We got a hammer and a crude blade. It's not even a knife. Our monk will get the hammer because it's a piece of equipment. We'll set that to repair. Now, repairing in the Legends mod is a bit harder because basically the way repairing is done at camp is different. And I'm not going to camp just yet because camping's a little bit buggy in Legends mod and it's been redesigned. And I'm used to the old camping system they had, not the new one so much. But if we head back into Drygraph, we can hopefully hire another body for our company. Magnus the Treasurer is talking to some of his men when you return to his room. He parts with them and asks you for task. You report that it's again safe to bury Drygraffin's loved ones. Magnus the Treasurer smiles. Good, good. Your payment! He snaps his fingers. I'm not very good at snapping my fingers. And one of the men steps forward, handing you a satchel. There's 100 crowns in it, just as promised. And the town no longer has terrified villagers. Well, there's another one skull contract there. And... let's not take either of those. But we do need to look like proper barbarians. Come on, you can do this. Yeah! Alright. Ooh. Maybe. Let's, and then you... you're looking fierce. Dangerous, violent. Where's that new barbarian beard? Yeah! Oh yeah, the dreadlocks. Make him hardcore for dreadlocks. Right, you're a monk. We're going to change that beard to look a little more monastic. And you, we are going to give you some hair, actually. although not much because nuns did tend to have very short hair. Now, this is quite nice. Now, these are mostly all male options with a few options from the witches thrown in. This is a new barbarian hairstyle. Yeah, we should absolutely, yeah. Spinal Tap. Spinal Tap, man! Okay, now where were we? Oh yeah, so witchy hair, witchy hair, witchy hair. This has replaced another hair one they were using from witches, but sure. Let's, which of these looks most religious? This one, that one, that one. That looks a little bit too 90s footballer. Yeah, there we go. Alright, I'm gonna... Oh, on your way out of town you pass by the Herbalist Grove. An impressive expanse of colourful flowers and herbs lie before you. The surrounding air made almost oppressively antiseptic. You recognise some of the plants. A few of them grow wild on the countryside. You pause to make firm mental notes on the various herbs, the smells, the colours, the sheen of the leaves in the sunlight. Even if you remember a select few, it would be enough to concoct a couple of amateur curatives. Cuts, scrapes, bruises, missing limbs and other body parts, all part of the job, really. Make sure you always have enough medicines on hand to keep the company patched up and in fighting condition. Brothers assigned to this task will go out and forage for herbs and plants of medicinal quality. The more people assigned, the more medicine gathered. The gathering tent can be upgraded by purchasing a crafting cart from a settlement merchant. An upgraded tent has a 15% increase in gathering speed. Additionally, there's a chance that some more potent and useful medicines will be discovered. Gathering has been unlocked in camp, so now we have 2 camping skills. But for that, I'm going to end the episode here. I hope you've all enjoyed it, even with the unfortunate demise of Sir Carthin's company, and I'll look forward to seeing you all in the next one. I'll say goodbye for now, and cheerio!